Michelle and the Statue of Liberty story. And if you were listening to the opening of the show, yeah, Michelle, you harp on things.
No, it's not. No, see, you're characterizing it all wrong, buddy.
Like at the hockey game last night. Apparently, I was like doing some show prep. Or I was putting something up on Instagram, whatever, and then I tried to hold your hand in the hockey game a little later, but then you kind of shunned me because you claimed that you tried to hold my hand a little earlier, and I shunned you at the hockey game last night. I don't recall shunning you.
We're gonna go here.
No, I don't recall that.
Yeah, you don't recall it because you're not sensitive to touch really unless you're initiating.
Okay. So a couple of other things that Michelle won't drop. The Statue of Liberty story. You still bring this up like several times a year. This happened in 1991, and you still bring this up several times a year.
It's just so fun. You see how agitated you are already? You're like, you're over there, you're sweating.
You know what? I ought to get a second job as an agitator in a washing machine.
Yeah.
That's how agitated I get.
You're an agitator.
It's not. No. I'm just reminding you about how independent I am.
Yeah.
And, don't forget, buddy, this is who you married. So when I go and do something that I want to do, like you had a chance to say, thank you.
Let me write that down. Don't forget, buddy, this is who you married. Let me jot that down. Oh, wait a sec. It's indelibly marked in my brain in multiple regions. Okay, so quickly tell the Statue of Liberty story.
All right, so you invited me to visit you. You just moved to New York City. You got an apartment, and
60th in Amsterdam.
60th in Amsterdam.
I was one of the first in the new Concerto building. Seriously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was one of the first tenants. I think I was one of two tenants in the building. It was a brand new building.
I'll be sure to pass that along to the MJ biographer.
All right, wise ass. All right, keep going, Michelle.
Tell him.
So you had to work Sunday morning early, and we'd had a really pleasant weekend. We hadn't seen each other in quite a while, and then you said, "Hey, be ready to go when I get home. We'll go to the Statue of Liberty." And I was like, "Oh, awesome, man! I hadn't been to New York City."
I actually went into the office on Sunday morning.
Yeah, you had to go do a shift, like
that's
6
right.
to 10 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
I was messing around.
I was doing a weekend shift on 95.5 PLJ.
Right.
All right.
So then you come home, and you typical. I mean, if the kids were available, they would say the same thing. What you did was you got home and you were like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm so tired. Let me take a nap." So then you immediately pass out, and I'm like waiting. An hour goes by, and I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to wake you up, and I'm like, dude, we got to go now because, it's the Statue of Liberty. It gets busy. I'm guessing there's lines. I don't know.
Yeah, all the tourists want to go.
And you were like, I'm kind of tired. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
And then I fell asleep.
You were asleep. And I said, you know what?
And Michelle just left.
I said, okay.
She left my butt. I was asleep. I came home and slept.
Yep.
Because I had to be there early. I was probably there at 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. to do a 6 to 10 shift on a Sunday morning.
Mind you, we had probably just watched a movie the night before, and you went to bed at like 11. It wasn't like it was a really difficult night.
That's right. And then you just left me while I wake up and Michelle is gone.
And
did you even leave a note?
I don't even think I left a note. I went downstairs. I asked that nice doorman.
His
I
name
said,
was Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Bill had the deepest voice of any human being ever. Hey there, it's Bill the doorman at the Concerto at 60th in Amsterdam.
And I said,
Remember he talked like this, hey, how you doing?
No, I don't.
The deepest voice, I don't think I've ever heard a deeper human voice since.
What?
Oh yeah?
It's the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's Fat Albert.
Fat Albert, the Kool-Aid Man.
Fat Albert's been canceled. Yeah, guilt by association.
Not anymore. Would you like a pudding pop?
All right.
Michelle, would you like something to drink? You can sit on my couch.
With all kinds of pills hanging out of
the
Jell-O pudding pop. All right, so tell the rest. All right, so go ahead.
So I went downstairs and I said, hey, can you tell me how to get to the Statue of Liberty? Absolutely.
Oh, sure. You just take Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and get on the 1 or the 9, the red line.
Yep.
You take a walk over to and take the 1 or the 9 over from Columbus Circle. And
Back then, that's when they had the 9. The 9 line has since been discontinued, but the red line in New York is what used to be. Well, right now it's the 1, 2, 3, but it used to be the 1, 2, 3, and the 9. And
Really?
all right, go ahead,
Talk
Michelle.
more about the subway system.
And then take it all the way down to Lower Manhattan. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Bill. I
Yeah.
got on the subway.
Yeah.
I rode all the way to Statue of Liberty.
You're welcome, sweetie.
And by the way, for folks that have recently visited in the last 20 years, this was when you could actually go to the Statue of Liberty. And I think
walk,
you can do this now.
You can walk right up to
Right
the
up.
top.
And I climbed all the way to the top.
Yeah, into the crown head.
Into the crown, looked through those, 5 windows.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Climbed all the way down. It takes hours, by the way. And you move very slowly because it's a long line of people in front of you. And, enjoyed the day, tootled around a little bit.
Meanwhile, Michelle's gone till 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, it was 9 o'clock.
And I had no idea where she is. I woke up after my nap. There's no note. There's no Michelle. All day, there's no Michelle. I'm calling the nearby police precinct to see if any bodies have shown up, along the banks of the Hudson.
But Bill told you where I went because he said, I gave her instructions to the Statue of Liberty.
Right, but
Why didn't you come find me?
I didn't know something could have happened to you between 60th and Amsterdam and the
yeah.
Statue of Liberty.
Let me tell you something. Something's more likely to happen to you than to me.
And by the way, those were the Dinkins years, and New York was a wreck.
You were terrible.
Yeah.
I will say, when I remember very distinctly walking home. I'd bought one of those little goofy Statue of Liberty sponge hats, to take home to Virginia Beach for my Nana.
Do you still have
And
that? Where is that?
No, long gone.
Right.
And so I was walking up the sidewalk to your apartment building, and all of a sudden I heard pounding feet running towards me. And I looked up, and you were like, "Where have you been all day? What's wrong with you? I was calling the police. What was I going to tell your grandparents? Oh my God!" And I was like, "Oh, I went to the Statue of Liberty. Isn't that kind of obvious? I've got this hat on my head, and
She's wearing the foam Statue of Liberty hat.
yeah, good times."
That kind of like that copper,
Mhm.
that
Green.
greenish
Mhm.
copper tint.
Yeah.
When brown copper gets the oxidation, right?
You didn't speak to me for months.
Oh God, I was so pissed.
Yeah. His loss, Michelle.
Talk about a grudge. He did not speak to me for months.
Was it really that long?
Yes, it was months.
Hold on. So I put you on did I even put you on or you just left?
You put me in a cab the next morning because that was my flight, and I had the most perverted cab driver on the way to the airport,
that's
and I
right.
didn't know how to get out of the car on the highway.
Oh, I forgot about the pervert. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And what was the story with the pervert cab driver?
Well, because I was crying,
Because
right?
you were like a hot 21-year-old man.
Well, I was crying because I knew we were having an issue.
You're still pretty hot, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
And he was like, "Oh, so that's your boyfriend?" And I was like, "No, not really." He goes, "Honey, you ain't crying like that, and he's not saying goodbye to you if you're not doing them." And
Hold on. Elaborate. What?
He said that we weren't saying goodbye like that, with me crying, and you were giving me a hug, but still kind of putting me in the car, kind of tenderly. And he was like, "You guys aren't saying goodbye like that if you're not doing the." I can't say it on the air.
So he had.
If you're not S something to D something.
What?
Yeah.
He said that? I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
Oh
Really?
yeah. Oh yeah. And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Oh, you're not telling the truth." He's like, "Yes, you are." And I was like, "What? What kind? Where?" And then I was like, "You were worried about me going to the Statue of Liberty, dude. You ought to be worried about the cab you put me in."
What was
But we
that?
were on the highway, however, I think I was going from LaGuardia, right? So I was like, where am I going to get out? I'm going to tell this guy to pull over and let me out on the
My
highway.
God. What was that movie with the creepy cab driver? Didn't he hang bones from the rear? What was the name of that movie?
Was it Taxi Driver?
No,
it was
What-
eight.
What are you talking? Taxi driver? It was
8mm, right?
Was that it?
Where they picked the girls up at the airport and they had the
Yeah.
locks all sawed off.
Oh,
So once they
yeah.
locked it, they couldn't even open it
And
up.
then wasn't there some creepy thing hanging from the cab driver's rearview mirror?
I don't remember.
Like some kind of bones or skeleton or something?
Yeah.
And then they did things with the victims in the cab, right?
Look, you're lucky I didn't end up like that. You're worried
Yeah.
about me going the day before.
Wow.
Anyway, that's your grudge. You didn't talk to me for months, buddy.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
And so how was the ice broken if we didn't speak for months? How did we
know.
break the ice and get back together and then eventually
down.
get engaged and then married, and here we are.
Okay, rock bottom.
Almost 31 years. What?
Rock bottom.
What does rock bottom mean?
That's your nickname now. Remember from last week? We did a story said it the person you met at 19 that you're
Oh yeah.
don't hang out with them because they're your rock bottom.
So you're my rock bottom?
No, you're my rock bottom.
I'm your
You
rock.
had a different person when you were 19.
Gotcha.
You like the video? If so, go ahead and click like, share, subscribe, and get more.